So, returning back to the Sith Empire, today we are going to take stock and try and decide exactly where it is that we are going to target to take a chunk out of the Bright Alliance next. Hi, it's Etharal here, and I am once again back playing Galaxy Divided. Now, today we're kind of at a point where I don't want to be going against the Republic. I can beat them in a fight, but it really does take all of my energy and, really does put the Sith in sort of a touch and go sort of situation. So I don't think I want to be targeting them at the minute. They're solid. They are what we originally set out to try and take down. But unfortunately, I don't think that's just with how the makeup of the galaxy's gone and how this mod starts with there being so many people that are all in one big alliance. You can see why the Galactic Republic is as strong as it is, particularly just based on the balance of this game and how it works, that they kind of become a little bit insurmountable unless you can build up an alliance yourself, which we haven't been able to do. We've got some vassals down here, which we are integrating. You can see here the combined Naboo stars, this very large chunk here, is actually going to be ours in under 2 years. So that's a great one, great situation to find ourselves in with them. In terms of technology and research, you can see our core sector systems is about to go up, our shield hit points are about to go up, and our minerals are going to be going up. All brilliant things. Those two in particular are really nice. The sectors, having more sectors that I can directly control and get more resources from is brilliant because it's going to allow me to support that larger fleet, which is what I am doing at the minute, although it's a little bit touch and go. On that note, I am going to set up another couple of Victory class and also Primus Rae. I do quite like the strike craft guys. So we will set up another 6 and 3 respectively. And I think that should, if, the game decides that it wants to let us do it, it is crashing, not quite crashing, but it is definitely stuttering quite a fair bit. And we're also going to build up some cruisers and some destroyers, I think, just to give it that little bit faster speed to support the larger battleships. Now, in terms of, nope, still nothing. I thought that it was maybe going forward. Anyway, we will, while it's waiting to catch up and figure out, there we go, what it's doing. So, in terms of our fleets, I've reorganized the fleets a little bit. And what we've done is we have put them into 4 ones. So you've got Task Force Hammer, Shadow Hand Fleet, Dark Fleet, and the Charis Fleet. All very nice fleets. I'm happy with all of them and how they're looking. All over 85,000. Oh, there you go. Some of them just hit 86,000, well, all barring Task Force Hammer. But Task Force Hammer is still just. So, really nice situation for them. There we go. Right, so we're going to start building up some extra fleets. So, we've got these guys in here. They're really nice. This, I'm not so thrilled with. I think that, I'd like it if they could have been a little bit more balanced. It's not the end of the world. Oh, yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to embark these 3 fleets. I'm going to get you guys to come down to here. And I think that should be good. Oh, physics research. What can we do? Planetary sensor range, energy credits, energy weapon damage. Let's go for, let's see, 64, 55, 37. Construction time. So construction time in terms of buildings is not massively important. So I think what we're going to go is we're going to go for the energy weapon damage. We don't use energy weapons as much as we did in the past, but we do still have them. So let's improve that. In terms of these fleets, do you have, okay, we have a lot of guys there, which are all ready to go. Now, in terms of when I say ready to go, we have about 3 years until we can attack the Bright Alliance again, if I remember rightly. Where is it? Declare war. Yeah. So that's, just over 3 years. So quite a while until that. Let's do this. Core sectors is all done. Right. So what do we want with this? So edict duration, stimulant diet, I guess, would be the one. Slave mineral output and slave food output. Not massive, but still could be useful. We don't need the doctrine because that just, plus 10%, we're not anywhere near that to be looking at that one. Edict duration, I don't really use very many edicts, so that one on balance I think is going to be the best one for us to use at the minute. Let's just see as well how we do in terms of this. 15 months, so less than a year and a half. brilliant one. We're nearly in a situation where we're going to get a big chunk here. Now, in terms of what I'm wanting to target to try and remove them, I'm going to go for Naboo. I'm going to go for Pantara, just because it's next to that borders where we're going to be getting, so we can set them up as down in this area here, in as far south in the galaxy as you can get. Then what we will have is we'll have those area right next to it from the Nabooian stars, and so that distance will be tiny, which is potential large negative when they're considering accepting an actual vassalage offer from us. That will be a big decider, and that'll help. I mean, we can maybe push it up to maybe 6 planets, I think. If we do get 6 planets as well, that will put us into a nice situation in terms of the domination victories. That'll put us up to 110, which means we'll only need another 10 planets to actually be able to claim 40% of all habitable planet domination victory, which is great. Now, in terms of conquest, I mean, there's still 25 other independent empires left, so that would be a long way off. Federation, we're not even in a federation, so that one's not going to be a big thing. You know, we're not going to be doing that one anytime soon. How's this doing? 10 months. Really nice. Really happy with that one. So what I'm thinking is certainly Pantara and Severkurka something. So we're going to take out this chunk here. Should see a good one from that. And then possibly moving into, I was considering Utapau. Utapau has got 4 planets, I believe. So it is a strong contender. So, you know, you've got that one there. So that's 1, 2, 3. And that's, oh, wait, no. It's not 4. It's only actually 3 planets. Oh, wait, no, there's the other one. So it is. So it would give us 6 planets total. 6 planets is not massive, I will admit. You know, it could be a little bit better, but not terrible at the same time. And I think, given that once we've gotten this, how close we will be to them, I think they will be receptive and they will be willing to join us as a vassal. How's that doing? The Primus Rae, 190 days. So they're getting there steadily, but they are getting there still. How are you doing? You're doing fine. You're doing fine. I think what we might do is we might actually do an extra Azrael. And you, how long do you need yet? So you'll get an extra Azrael. So we'll get an extra 2 cruisers out of that deal as well. So that's not a problem. Our energy credits, brilliant. I'm still loving the energy credits and actually haven't sorted that one out. Minerals, we could be doing a lot better on them, I will admit, and I'd like to be able to get some more planets which have got some really high mineral production. It's not something that I've really seen as of yet, and I've got everything being mined up as much as we possibly can, so it is a bit of a shame, but you know what, we can deal with that. When we deal with that, I don't know, and how we're going to deal with that, I don't know too much either, given that we are already doing the plus 5% any sort of minerals. So what is that monthly gain? I mean, what is it? Produced 669 plus sectors. I mean, it's that ship maintenance minus 2,000 near enough. It's a big chunk. If we remove all of our ships, we'd be sorted for minerals. But of course, we wouldn't have anything to defend. And I'm pretty sure if we lost all of our fleets now, we would see so many wars from both the Bright Alliance and the Galactic Republic, both just taking massive, massive chunks out of us and going, right, thank you very much, this is now ours. And that's not what we want. You know, we don't want them to be piecemealing us as much as possible. Let's actually get rid of that because we don't need it. Right, so those should all finish about the same time. Once they're all finished up as well, we'll move them down to Verandath, and then we'll probably, I think actually we'll do it now. We'll unify all of these. Let's just move them all back into one situation. Weirdly, there has been, you can see here, Lady Jaga, and Darth Malak. These all seem, there seems to have been a bug. What's happened? Oh, what's this? Too many colonized systems. Right, so let's pause that because we've just taken, there we go. So we've just taken all of that. So we're 4 planets down. So Alziok, I think, is going to be one that we're going to keep Alziok for the time being. We're going to keep this little area down here. That's perfectly fine. So what we'll do is we will set this up as another sector in and of itself. Look at that. That's already cut straight through there. That's brilliant. Right, so let's go and get this sector set up. How many? We could have 44 sectors. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this down even further. And we're actually we're going to have one sector along here, because it's going to get this area as well. So we'll pop that to get that and to get that. So, you know, you'll take Naboo and you'll take all of this, and that'll be one sector done there. And then what we'll do is another sector. We will manage that, and this is going to be this one down here. So there we go. And how many planets should we give it? I think we don't want to give it now too many, do we? But we don't want to give it too few at the same time where it can't support itself. I think that's quite a nice little amount. And then we'll keep it. We'll probably give them the Spice Terminus as well, but we'll keep that for ourselves around here, and then we'll loop that around to get Yanabar when we can. Actually, what we'll do when we do attack is we'll probably send somebody down, because that's going to be an outpost, so we'll remove that, and then that'll become part of ours, which is great. Ryloth, that's obviously going to be going into there as well in the future. Right, so let's get this moving forward. And, I mean, we're in an interesting little situation here, I think, at the minute, and there's a lot of opportunities for growth in the Empire. It's a long slog, without a doubt, right? But there, you know, there is our fleet built back up. 300. That is a big fleet. And how are you doing? Right, so 1 day for you, 4 days for you, 17 days. So, you know, within 3 weeks, all of these ships are all good to go. And we're going to see how this will affect our actual resources. Hopefully not too badly, but probably we're going to see a drop. I suspect we are going to certainly see a drop. Right, so there we go. That is all of our ships built. So let's jump down to you. Yep, right, that's fine. Now let's grab all of these just to make sure that we're definitely putting them all in the same place. Right. Up yous all down to there. Brilliant. Right, so yous all go to that. I'm going to zoom out, because if not, my computer may crash if I try to do all of that and watch them moving all at the same time. But here, I mean, that's another... Strike Force Pegasus is 13,000. Why is Strike Force Pegasus 13,000? Oh, right. Because you are not ours. So, disband you. Yes. And then... this you can upgrade, so definitely get rid of you. Shadow Hand Fleet. Yep, so we'll remove those. Those are not too much of a problem. And then, so that, I mean, these fleets now, you know, that's an extra sort of 3, 6, 3, 7, 10,500. I mean, you're looking at around about 11,000 between all this, 11 to 12,000, which is not a bad amount. Actually, probably higher than that. I think 12, 13,000, which is actually a really nice amount. So, yeah, brilliant. And what are you doing? All right, you're there as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to merge. And we're going to merge. And then we are going to split it in half. Great. And then this one we are going to assign a new leader. And apparently... You, do you want to fire that? Yep. Recruit. Who? So army morale plus 25%, or army morale on attack and army damage. Right, so you're who we're going to target next. Brilliant. Right, so Lord Prahl. I believe we had a Lord Prahl in the past. Apparently we've had another one. Fair enough. And then, or is it Lord Talon? So these two are now ready to attack. Also as well, 1,200. They should be pretty strong. I'm not too worried about those. So I think we'll be able to maintain sort of 2 offensives at the same time, which is excellent. What's this? The Chissa Sensei. We'll stop doing some stuff which we don't care about. Let's see. Let's target somebody new to subjugate. I think you. Can we subjugate you? No, we can't. Not yet. Not for a few years at least. So it's going to be Naboo. Integrate use. How long will you take? 10, 12 years or so. Oh no, 10 years. 10 years, not a terrible amount, actually. I can deal with 10 years. So once we've done that as well, I mean, they're not going to add in a lot. They're only going to add in Shogun and the System of Naboo. But the System of Naboo is a big, powerful one. So that's definitely going to be a positive for them. And then what are we doing? We are, next year, we will be able to declare war again, which is great. And what is this down to? Base gain of minus 0.39. So that's, I mean, we are losing influence there, but that's influence that I'm not terribly worried about losing, if I'm perfectly honest. You know, we can stand to lose a bit of influence, and it's not going to, you know, be the end of the world. It's not going to completely crush us, so fine with that. Just having a look up here as well, I'd love to be able to attack the Gree, but I don't want to risk attacking the Gree because I do suspect that because they're a fallen empire, they're going to be difficult. And I think that if we were to attack them, it would leave us exposed to retaliation, which is not something that we want. In terms of the Riccartans, how are they doing? Odessin, Lehon, and Areen. So they're kind of just there. They're not too much of a worry. They've got a frontier outpost there. So even if, Naboo does collapse in on itself, which, let's be honest, is exactly what's going to happen, at the very least, this land here will, I'd like to think there's still going to be some remnants with space stations and things like that, really holding the fort and continuing on almost the legacy of the actual guys. But not enough to, warrant us not destroying them the first chance that we get. Right, so let's just get rid of all of these because they are using up resources that we don't have and that we don't want to be wasting. So, probably not all that much resources, but still, regardless, any resources that we can save is always going to be a good thing. We probably should go back to that planet at some point as well and actually remove these things down, which we could do very easily now, and I suspect there's a lot of research there. But I just can't be bothered. There's probably a lot of research in a small scale, but given, the size of our empire and the amount that we're doing, there is going to be not that much gain for us for the time that it would take us to get out there and get back. We're at, 2,000 across for 2 of them, and then 1,700 for the other. So technology-wise, we're in a pretty good situation. So I think we are about ready to go. Well, less than a year left in terms of the war. So I'm thinking that, I'm going to go certainly for those 2 planets there. I'm thinking Utapau, as I mentioned earlier, although at the same time there is Slusvan and Danab. We could maybe grab them and then Sullust. How many does Sullust have? Sullust only has the 1 planet as well. So we could, rather than doing one big one, one sort of small localized area, what we could do is we could lap somebody sort of around like that. That could be another option. And actually might not be a terrible option. Gives us a larger frontier to sort of focus on, and we can sort of really drive and sort of take away all of this area, which is something that I certainly like the look of. I think what we may need to do, though, is I may need to send some fleet down to here. I've got a suspicion that there is an frontier outpost here, or, something along those sorts of lines. It really wouldn't surprise me. So I think it's something we're going to need to have a look into. Maybe send somebody down on a little bit of an exploratory thing to see what's there. And I think that's going to be a good option. So maybe put somebody down into Cabal, see what's there, make sure that there isn't anything. And what is this? The Corellian Liberation. Oh, why? Go to where is it? Elterian Prime. Right, not massively worried about that one. Minus 6% though, so actually maybe we should be. They're occupying some lands. Well, that's not something we can just allow now, is it? Never mind, because it looks like they're going to be coming and crushing those. Brilliant, right, so if you guys are going to crush them, that's not too much of a worry there. And then here, these guys are going to be bombarding this. Right. So, I don't see this one as being too much of a worry. I think we'll be, they'll be fine. -3 already. So we're definitely pretty strong. There's a load of guys here as well, that can sort of help out. So, not worried about that one in the site. So I think we're going to choose to ignore that war just while we focus on larger priorities of expanding the Sith Empire as a whole, rather than dealing with internal matters. One thing which I suppose, though, is at least nice is the fact that, it's been a good few years since we've had any internal matters to deal with. So there is that advantage at least. And we have managed to bring together one of our actual sort of vassals, so that's reduced it down again a little bit, which is always nice. Right, then, so, here, we're going to split this fleet up, and then what will we do? We'll split this fleet up, and then the 180,000 strength fleet will split that fleet up as well, and it's still doing that weird bug where Lady Jagger apparently controls all of them. But the important thing is that they're now close to 90,000 apiece, which is brilliant. So, we're getting closer towards really hitting our mark in terms of where we want our fleets to be, which is, kind of terrifying, to be perfectly honest. You would not want to go up against this level of Sith. This level of Sith would absolutely destroy pretty much everyone. And that's what they're going to do. Or it's what they're going to try to do, at least. And I think they should be able to. And I'd like to think that the Republic, is really starting to worry about this. Because, let's be honest, the Republic is going to know that once this fleet is done with the Bright Alliance, that it's coming after them. And there's not really very much that they can do. Because, well, I'm going to guess that they're too scared to try and attack us directly. So they're kind of stuck in that regard. But they're still going to try and do something if they got an opportunity. Which, thankfully, they haven't had an opportunity. And what's this? Oh, next month. What's this here? Trade deal. What's this? Star charts. Yep, we'll accept that. And use... accept that. Yeah, we've got no problem giving you star charts. You're going to be integrated into us eventually anyway, so, you know what? Have them. Right, so let's see. How long have we got left until we can declare war on the 11th? So 4 days. 2 days. 1 day. There we go. So I'm going to leave it there for today, and I will come back in the next episode when we will finally be able to declare war against the Bright Alliance once again. As always, obviously, do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have enjoyed this video and want to see how that turns out. If you want to support me even more, then why not go and check me out on Patreon. It'd be absolutely amazing, that. And I've been Etharal here for EGN, and I shall see you next time.